Hello and thank you for watching Access Asia here on France 24. I'm Will Hildebrand. Coming up, while Lombok tries to rebuild after hundreds of deadly earthquakes, France 24 looks at how aid workers are helping children cope in the aftermath. As ties improve between the two Koreas, dozens of families separated by war reunite for the first time in 68 years, what is likely to be their last time to see one another. And why not spend your golden years in Cambodia? More and more French people are. We'll find out why they're choosing to retire in the Southeast Asian kingdom. We begin in the Indonesian island of Lombok. Since late July, there have been hundreds of deadly earthquakes and aftershocks, leveling businesses, schools, and homes. While the island struggles to rebuild, among the most vulnerable are the children. Our team on the ground met aid workers who are trying to spread awareness and fun about how to cope in the aftermath. Abdallah Malkawi, Philomène, Remy, and Clovis Casali sent this report.
The children of Tegel Maja were delighted when they heard special visitors were coming to the village. Volunteer workers here to entertain an excited crowd. The parents watched them play educational games on how to prevent the spread of diseases in the makeshift camps where they now live. The frequent aftershocks mean the children rarely relax.
They're having like a really high trauma. Even when they sit down, they feel like there's an earthquake coming. They start to crying, and then we need to do something about it. That's why we jump off the road and then use some methods to just simply get them play and love and study. That's it.
One way of helping the children overcome their trauma is to have them draw. They can express with pens what they might not be able to say in words. Losing their homes and seeing people injured was deeply disturbing. This young girl passed out when the earthquake hit.
Our lives have changed completely. Before the earthquake, I used to eat all types of good food. But now there's not much to eat. I just eat noodles.
I want everything to go back to normal. I want to go back to school and play with my friends.
It will take weeks, if not months, to reopen these schools destroyed by the earthquake. It's not safe yet for the children to return here. Villagers are slowly cleaning up the rubble, but they will need money and assistance from the government to rebuild these schools across Lombok.
Well, this year's monsoon season has created deadly floods in India. Since early June, record rainfall has led to more than 1,000 deaths across 7 states. The hardest hit has been Kerala. The Air Force and Navy have been working on relief and aid operations. Authorities fear the floods, though, could lead to a breakout of waterborne diseases. Meanwhile, neighboring Pakistan, Imran Khan was sworn in as the new prime minister. In his first speech to the nation, he called on the rich to pay taxes and to help wean the country off loans and foreign aid. The former cricket star beat established parties by running on a populist platform. He promised to fight corruption and make Pakistan an Islamic welfare state for the poor. As ties between the two countries improve, a group of elderly South Koreans met long-lost family members in North Korea. This after being separated by the war that broke out 68 years ago. Though it was a bittersweet moment, as the brief meetings are likely to be the last and only time many will see each other. Erin Ogunkeye has more.
Overcome with emotion, as he is reunited with family he has not seen in nearly 70 years. More than 80 North and South Korean families were temporarily reunited in the North, the first of such reunion events in 3 years.
We were separated when you were 2 and I was 4. Wow, what happened to us? Indeed, what a world. I am so happy.
Many brought old photos with them. What was once the only connection they had to their lost loved ones, now a tool for recognizing those present and remembering those lost. For others, even without photos, the memories came back.
I'm so happy to see you. It must have been hard for you to come all this way. I know it was hard. I remember how beautiful you were.
It's a fleeting moment of bliss that could be the last before they die. Members of families driven apart during the 1950 Korean War, most of them are well over 80 years old. This 92-year-old mother, for example, is meeting her 71-year-old son for the first time. The two were separated at the border as she fled fighting with her daughter. The heavily supervised reunions were a reminder both of the deep bonds that have long linked the two nations and of the political tensions that have divided them. The 89 South Koreans chosen by lottery were advised not to criticize the North Korean government or ask any sensitive questions about the country's economic situation. According to South Korean press, only North Koreans considered loyal to the regime were permitted to meet their relatives. And even those who were chosen were reportedly required to undergo a month of political indoctrination. Still, for the lucky few who did get to see their loved ones, the meetings are sure to be bittersweet. The participants will see their relatives for a total of just 11 hours over the span of 3 days.
Well, could video games one day be in the Olympics? There's a growing group of people that thinks they should be. Esports are surging in popularity, especially in countries like South Korea. Shona Bhattacharya has more.
This is where the sports legends of the future are made. There are no treadmills here, or weights, just rows and rows of computers. Esports are no longer just a passion. They're a profession for more and more players, especially in Asia, an inspiration to South Korean youth.
I've been in the top 1% of players in the game Player Unknown Battleground, top 0.4% for League of Legends, and I'm also in the top league for Overwatch. My dream is to become an internet BJ or broadcast jockey, play games and communicate with my viewers, and be known for my skills.
This eSports Academy owner says gaming is now in a league of its own, with sponsors, agents, and training facilities.
We've come to the point where esports have developed so much that pro gamers need to learn and perfect basic skills that others do not have. I think that's why there are now more academies like ours that train people to become pro gamers.
The industry has ambitious goals. It's hoping to be integrated into the Olympic Games. For the president of the IOC, e-players show high levels of mental preparation and skill.
They prepare and compete in a way and with also physical demands which can be compared to the ones in more traditional sports.
The idea to include esports in the Olympics is facing hurdles from athletes and organizers alike. As for the spectators, to watch esports is to watch someone play a video game. If that sounds unappealing, take a cue from the reactions from the audience at this competition.
At times, French people pride themselves in living la belle vie, but more and more are seeking the good life by retiring in Cambodia. Just consider the great food, the friendly people, and the warm climate. Robert Sutton-Mattocks has more.
In colonial days, it was called Kep-sur-Mer. White sand, palm trees, the Cambodian Riviera. But now modern-day Kep is becoming a magnet for foreigners to live out their twilight years. That's the case for Francoise and Patrick, who initially came to Kep for 6 months, and they've decided to stay.
It's really amazing here in Cambodia. The natural beauty. It's amazing.
They may be retiring, but they're showing no sign of slowing down yet. Every morning they're down at the market, a little like fish out of water, but they manage.
1 kilo, please. 1 kilo. You see, he understands. Do you speak French? No. We make ourselves understood. We use our hands, a little bit of English. Sometimes we write down what we want. We get there in the end.
For years they dreamed of a life in the tropics, maybe Mauritius or Vietnam, and finally choosing to settle here. They run this property of 19 rooms as a hotel, surrounded by nature. And another advantage of Cambodia is the French art of living is never too far away.
Just like in France, we have everything. The bakery, the deli.
With a pension of €1,000 per month and a small investment, it can offer a gilded retirement.
So we bought the business and we pay rent on the building. It's something we could never afford to do back home. I can't think what the equivalent would be in France, but it would be too expensive.
Cap's comfortable way of life and its French feel is attracting more and more looking for a new life abroad. Sandy Lacroix is an estate agent who helps people move here and negotiate their contracts.
Oh, yes. What a wonderful kitchen. There are 5 apartment rooms, all with bathrooms, lots of potential. It could make $2,500 rent per month, €2,000.
And one of the biggest differences from other Asian countries nearby like Thailand, you can buy, not just rent as a foreigner. And if you're retired, Cambodia rolls out the red carpet.
There's really a drive of the government to welcome retired expats. They don't require you to have proven savings in a bank account, and you don't need to prove your monthly income.
More than 1 million French people have retired abroad, and more than 1,000 have chosen Cambodia.
And finally, a Taiwanese restaurant is serving up dishes of ice cream of puppies that are so realistic it's almost hard to eat. Customers can choose either from a Labrador, a Pug, or a Shar-Pei made of chocolate, milk tea, or peanut ice cream. But some customers feel so bad about eating them, it must be those puppy dog eyes. We'll leave you with these images. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned to France 24.
Maracaibo has all the symptoms of a failed economy in an ailing country. Oil facilities are abandoned, leaking pipelines poison the local fishermen's catch. Famine is spreading. A full tank of petrol costs little, but buying a loaf of bread costs a fortune. 2 million people have already fled the country. Our reporter spoke to people struggling to survive and families risking it all by joining Colombia's traffickers.
500,000 pesos, que en 20 meses de trabajo allá no me los gano. Y en un día aquí los tengo.
Watch our special report on Venezuela's downward spiral as oil hopes fail to deliver.
Our special correspondents are the real eyewitnesses of the news. Join me for reporters.